good one today. Virginia in search of its first 10-win season in a decade and the second in the 110-year history of its football program. Champ Bailey is standing deep. He will receive the kick. Champ Bailey, of course, is the Defensive Player of the Year in college football, the Nagurski Award winner. He is also the second leading receiver for Georgia. Virginia will run the ball a lot, and Thomas Jones will do the bulk of the running. Jones rushing for 1,300-plus yards this season. The head football coach for Virginia, George Welch. At the age of 65, it's his 17th season after 9 years at Navy. 12 straight winning seasons. He has been to a bowl in 8 of the last 10 years. Jim Donnan, at the age of 53, it's his 3rd season at Georgia after 6 years at Marshall. 10-2 a year ago, 8 up and 3 down this year. The Bulldogs have won 19 of their last 24. David Green kicking off for Virginia. We are underway in front of a sold-out Georgia Dome. And here is Champ Bailey. Run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And now let's meet the starting lineup for Georgia. Olandis Gary is the primary running back. But as Quincy Carter show, the wide receivers, Tony Small is his favorite wide receiver. Michael Greer is a big play man. Watch for him, 36. The offensive line on the left side, 79, Matt Stinchcomb. Academic All-American and first-team All-American. They think he is going to be a first-round draft choice, and he is going to be in a pitched battle with the Virginia defensive end, Patrick Kearney. Here's Champ. Wrestled down after a gain of maybe a yard or two. Now let's meet the starting defensive core for Virginia. Patrick Kearney, we told you about. 15 sacks on the season, second in the country, behind Wisconsin's Tom Burke. The linebackers for Virginia are the 3 leading tacklers on the ball club. Wally Rayner is going to be a very busy man today. And in the absence of Anthony Poindexter, Adrian Burnham has really stepped up at free safety. It's 2nd down and 10. On the option, here's Gary. And Gary is out of bounds in Virginia territory at about the 46-yard line, short of the first down. A gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3. It is now over, and Tulane has finished an undefeated season. Congratulations, of course, to Tommy Bowden, who is gone. Chris Scelfo, the new head coach, was an assistant under Jim Donnan. So an undefeated season. What a remarkable turnaround for the Green Wave of Tulane.
So because that was Donnan's assistant, does he get like a half victory on his total?
Jim Donnan's going to be a happy guy today.
I'll bet he is.
And Donnan in his 3rd season at Georgia. And now 3rd and 3. And here's Carter to throw for it. Over the middle, wide open, was Michael Greer, and he was overthrown. Quincy Carter just flat out overthrew him.
There's a situation where inevitably as a young quarterback, he needs to take some juice on it. They have the shield play. Take a look to the middle of your screen, wide open. Now just don't drill it. Just ease it in there, but instead Carter tried to put a little bit too much juice on it. The result is Greer couldn't hang on.
Wayne Kopp to punt it away. He averages for 36 yards per punt. And Terrence Wilkins stands back at his own 10-yard line. With the left foot, high, short, fair catch at the 15-yard line. So Georgia comes up empty in its first series of plays, and now it's Virginia's turn, and now it's time to bring in our 3rd man down on the field, Dean Blevins. Dean.
Charlie, you talked about the great matchup today. I think we had one of the most compelling matchups in college football with the big guys down front. We have Patrick Kearney, the defensive end for Virginia. This guy is a big, lean wrecking machine. He's going up against Matt Stinchcomb, one of the best tackles in football. Those guys will go high in the draft. More on them and some of Jim Donnan's words about how to get the nasty tapes out of their mouths here in a few moments.
All right, here's the first play for Georgia from their own 15-yard line, out of the eye. That's Ken Coffey in motion. And Thomas Jones jukes for 3. And now let's meet the offensive starting lineup for Virginia. Aaron Brooks at quarterback and Thomas Jones Rushed for 970 yards in his last 7 games during the regular season. Kevin Coffey, the wide receiver who was just in motion, he is their big play man. Again, not terribly flashy, but terrific hands. Noel LaMontagne at right guard, replacing the injured Fatty Shimon. He came over from the left side. He's going to be a very important member of that offensive line, protecting Aaron Brooks this afternoon. Coming back the other way, wide open Jones. And Jones across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and a first down.
Good job of misdirection and play action as they went to the other direction, threw back, able to get the first.
Defensively for Georgia, a suspect defensive front. Virginia thinks they can run on it. The linebackers, however, the strength of the Georgia defense. Orontes Grant is the leading tackler with 120 during the season. But it's Champ Bailey, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Nagurski Award winner, who will be probably not as busy on defense as he will be on offense. Jones brought down after a gain of maybe 3 by the right corner, Jeff Harris. It'll be 4th down, so Virginia's first sustained drive is cut short in a hurry.
Sparky Woods made the point that they really could not afford a sack. You know, they're not a team that gets big, huge chunks of yardage frequently. And so once they got the sack on that play, they're really stuck.
Michael Greer stands back at his own 12-yard line, awaiting the punt of Donnie Scott. Scott averaged about 43 yards per punt during the regular year. A high punt that Greer lets bounce, and it will be dead inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it right at the 10. A 41-yard punt and no return.
Nice kick by Scott. I will say this, though, Charlie, on AstroTurf, almost inevitably the ball turns over and rolls into the end zone. So he got a very fortuitous bounce.
Patrick Kearney returns to the field. A walk-on 4 years ago. This year, first team All-ACC, second team All-American. He never in his wildest dreams thought he might someday be on the precipice of the National Football League. Right up the middle. That's Olendis Gary. And Gary picks up about 7 yards, and that's the final play of the first quarter. Dead even and scoreless after 1. We've got a good one here. The 1998 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Well, 19 plays for Virginia, 15 for Georgia. Total yards in the first quarter, 58 yards for Georgia, 51 for Virginia. And that's why we are scoreless. First play, second quarter. Olendis Gary is shy of the 20-yard line.
I ever wonder if heading into his senior year, if Gary didn't think that maybe this was going to be a 250, 300 carry kind of year for himself. But of course, you know, because everybody had talked about with Mike Bobo gone and Robert Edwards, that this was now going to be his time to shine. Instead, Quincy Carter comes in, you know, and really steals the spotlight. Gary's done a great job, 5 yards per carry, but has not been afforded the opportunities maybe he would have thought he was going to.
Rushed for 733 yards during the regular season, Olendis Gary. That's Champ Bailey. Here's Champ. Brought down at the 21-yard line, but that should be enough for the first down. Antoine Harris, the left corner, made the tackle.
There's a case of we just want to get the ball in Champ Bailey's hands however we can do it. He goes in motion behind the line of scrimmage. This is actually rushing yardage. Carter throws it backward to him. Virginia isn't fooled, but as you pointed out, Charlie, they only needed to get a yard, and Bailey's able to do that.
One of the things that Jim Donnan told us about Bailey, when he's on the field offensively, he's not just there as a decoy. He is there for a purpose. 6 of his last 7 games, he's been on the field for 100 plays on either side of the ball. And down, Carter is intercepted. It is Wally Rayner down to the 5-yard line.
Bad decision by Quincy Carter, Charlie. He was wrapped up. He didn't want to take the sack. When he threw the ball, he didn't have enough juice on it, and Rayner, who's been making big plays all year for the Cavaliers, steps in front with a big pick.
When Anthony Poindexter went down with the injury, we asked who was the guy who's been able to step up. Well, it's Wally Rayner, among others. Since Poindexter went down, Rayner has averaged 15 tackles a game, over the last 4 games, and he has had 2 interceptions, now a third.
And Charlie, once again from the backside, there's Kearney who has him wrapped up. And Rayner is the beneficiary of Kearney's pass rush. He has Carter by the... Boy, that's a nice catch, too, and a good run. And Poindexter certainly is happy about it.
And now a golden opportunity for Virginia. First and goal from the 5. Thomas Jones back in the lineup, deep in the eye. And there is Jones down to about the 2-yard line. And there is Antonio Cochran, 38, making the tackle again.
Charlie, I think it's worth mentioning Lawson and Rootson, who you pointed out earlier in the half. They continue to go to that left side. They have no problem with the way that guard and tackle are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Josh Lawson, redshirt freshman, 6'5", 293. Evan Rootson, redshirt freshman, 6'5", 305. 52 and 56. Full house backfield. Jones is deep. Instead, they give it to the up back. Southern touchdown.
That's a great call. Everybody's anticipating the tailback getting the ball, and Southern comes from the other side. Not only does the left side of the offensive line do their job, but he then has, Charlie, 2 lead blockers to escort him into the end zone.
A little Southern comfort, his 5th touchdown of the season, 6-0 Virginia. And so the turnover, first of the game, hurts the Bulldogs badly.
Jim Donna's doing the right thing, going after his Chargers. Get it up. Don't worry about it.
Raven's extra point. 7-0. Virginia has Anthony Southern, 6 feet, 239 pounds, barrels home from just 2 yards away.
We're talking about the left side of the offensive line that has been so dominant for Virginia. The right guard, Noel LaMontagne, does a great job pulling out and cleaning up the garbage, getting the lead blocks, in this case, from both Jones and Patrick Washington. They're the collisions at the point of attack, and it's a very easy touchdown for Southern, thanks to his friends.
Anthony Southern came into the game with just 14 carries all year. He's had a couple today, and it was his 5th touchdown of the season that's given Virginia the early lead. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half, 7-0 Virginia. And there is Champ Bailey. Standing back at his own 5-yard line along with Patrick Pettis. Here's Bailey. Not this time. Down at the 22-yard line, and Virginia is fired up.
I caught that Kelvin Martin of Cincinnati the other night. Boy, oh boy, can that guy get up. That's a fun team to watch.
Bob Huggins wins his 400th. Congratulations to Bob Huggins. Here's Carter rolling and running it out of bounds. And they'll mark it at about the 22, 23-yard line. Not really much of a gain at all. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Travis Griffith shows the pursuit, trying to run down Carter. And, of course, here's the situation. He has misdirection, so he's figuring, well, I got a tight end. No, I don't. Wide receiver, no, I don't. Griffith runs him out of bounds, and even though he didn't knock him down, not much of a gain. And I think Carter might be getting a little frustrated, Charlie, because Virginia seems to have all the right answers thus far defensively.
Carter has rushed the ball 4 times for a total of 9 yards, passed the ball 10 times, and completed 3 of them for 17. Now here's Carter rolling the other way. Stopping, throwing long down the sideline. Michael Greer, did he get it? Nice catch. It was intercepted.
Boy, that's a great catch, Charlie.
Adrian Burnham, 37.
And now you're looking pretty smart, because you made the point early on at the very top of the show that Burnham had elevated his game. Burnham is a free safety, and he's there in man-for-man coverage. This is what a good cover guy does. He comes to the outside. Now watch him look back, turn his head and look back like a good center fielder to make the catch. That's just an outstanding job. I can only tell you from personal experience how difficult it is to lose sight of the ball, turn around 360, and come up with a catch. And, of course, he's being encouraged by their injured star, Poindexter.
Anthony Poindexter missed the final 4 games of the regular season and was still named the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. So Adrian Burnham on his 5th interception of the season. That's the 2nd consecutive pickoff of a Quincy Carter pass. 1st and 10 for Virginia. Let's see what Brooks can do. Throwing sideline, and he completes it to the 45-yard line. Terrence Wilkins, a 1st down.
Interesting here, Charlie. At the kickoff, they're not kicking away from Champ Bailey, and throwing the ball, they're not throwing away from Champ Bailey. Wilkins comes down, does the hard out route, is able to get Bailey out of his back pedal and make the catch. Here's Bailey up. He doesn't give him enough of a push, and there's Wilkins who cuts on the hard out route, comes back to the ball, and does a nice job there to get the extra yardage.
George Wells, 17th seed at Virginia. They had never been to a bowl game before he got there. And now they've been there 8 of the last 10 years. Here's Brooks firing over the middle, incomplete. And Terrence Wilkins really took a licking.
Once again, that's very dangerous territory when you've got to run that in or that slant. And I'm not sure that Wilkins didn't give it a little bit of alligator arm, because he really took a shot from Corey Robinson. Good protection. Brooks sits back. Take a look. Does he extend himself? Right there, you can see just a little bit. You can see him take his eye off the ball.
You know, the ball might have been tipped a little bit by Kirby Smart.
I give Robinson credit, though. He gives him a lick, and he's not going to be inclined to go back in there again.
On 2nd down and 10. Anthony Southern leads the single back. Sideline. Oh, Wilkins is wide open. Touchdown, Virginia. 43 yards, 13-0 Cavaliers.
Charlie, there appeared to be a miscommunication in the secondary for Wilkins to get that open. I think Corey Robinson thought that they had another coverage called.
For Wilkins, his 2nd touchdown of the season, and Virginia is now up 14-0. Terrence Wilkins took a licking on the last pass try, this time wide open. Well, the Georgia Bulldogs have a grand total of 64 offensive yards on 23 plays with 7 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the first half, and now they're down by 14.
And Charlie, this did a lot for Aaron Brooks' confidence. He puts it right on the hands of Wilkins, who was able to get away from Robinson into the end zone. And, you know, let's point out the fact, too, Charlie, it's not as if Virginia has been terribly dominant, but they've been opportunistic. Great field position there, and they punch it in. Of course, they get in and off the turnover, and Brooks now feeling awfully good about himself.
2 turnovers by Georgia have resulted in all 14 Virginia points. A very short kick, and here's Champ Bailey. Here's Champ Bailey. Run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Good field position for the Bulldogs. Steve?
News not so good for Georgia. Dustin Lucky, the starting Sam linebacker, the strong side linebacker, number 50, is out. Knee sprain. You see the ice on his left knee. He'll be reevaluated at halftime. And guys, Jim Donnan told me before the game that he told his club, let's get on these guys early. Let's get the home crowd into this game. It's just the opposite on the field.
And so not so lucky are the Georgia Bulldogs. Miles Lucky, another one of the triplets, is the offensive center. Right up the gut, Ronnie Bradley, and Bradley picks up about 4 on the play.
Someone that we have highlighted over and over again, Quincy Carter, Charlie, not having a great first half, only 3 for 11 with those 2 picks. Whatever Rick Lance is doing, it's right.
Both interceptions have resulted in touchdowns for Virginia, and that has been the difference. 24 plays for Georgia, just 68 yards. So Rick Lance has effectively shut down this Georgia offense. From their own 39, 2nd down and 6. Carter fires over the middle, in and out of the hands of Tony Small, who couldn't have been more open.
How frustrating it is for Carter, who obviously is struggling. When he finally does deliver the ball, he needs the catch. Virginia goes into zone coverage, Small able to get downfield and cut to the middle, finds the dead spot in the zone, but just can't get his hands down. There he is. Carter delivers the ball. A little bit low, but still that's very catchable.
What we also saw was a rifle arm of Quincy Carter. Carter, a freshman, but not just any ordinary freshman, 21 years old. Has played 3 seasons in minor league baseball for the Chicago Cubs. He's an outfielder, plays center field. 3rd and 6. Throws, and it's picked off again! Sproul down the sideline and inside the 10-yard line.
The flag is down, Charlie, but I think it's going to be after the interception. It appeared that Larry Brown fell down. Larry Brown fell down, and Carter was in anticipation of his being there, and he threw it right into the hands of Sproul.
After the interception, holding on the intercepting team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Virginia.
Take a look at Larry Brown. He comes out in the screen right here, and he just falls down. That enables Sproul to come off of his man and make the pick. He has a convoy downfield. Carter comes in and breaks it up a little bit. But, oh, the frustration, Charlie, you mentioned it earlier, the turnover is really hurting the Bulldogs.
3 interceptions on the last 6 plays from scrimmage. Freshman quarterback Quincy Carter going to have to regroup. That's a tough night. That's a lousy-looking box score, isn't it? The home folks under the big top of the Georgia Dome are quiet. There are about 21,000 fans in Virginia here, and they are on their feet. The pass over the middle to Thomas Jones and a touchdown. For Jones' 16th touchdown of the year, 20-0 Virginia.
And Hollingshead, the inside backer, had him in man-for-man coverage and just couldn't stay with him. Got to give a lot of credit to Brooks with the 3-step drop and getting Jones out quickly. Hollingshead had no chance to react. Thus, another touchdown.
3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 20-0. And now the extra point try for Braverman to make it 21-0. This is not exactly how Jim Donnan had this day scripted.
Charlie, here's an interesting, here might be one of the more overstated statistics. And that is that right now Brooks is only 6 for 12. But all of those completions have been huge. They've been huge, so he's only 50%. Take a look right there. On the 3rd step, he's got Jones right there in the seam, and he goes in for 6. Great job by Brooks, and an excellent job by Jones getting into the circle route quicker. 3-step drop enables the line to protect. Here are the redshirt freshmen able to pick things up, and of course Southern is waiting for Smart on the blitz.
52, Josh Lawson, the redshirt freshman. He and Evan Rootson on the left side of the offensive line have done the job keeping Aaron Brooks relatively well protected. Although sacked 4 times, he's got 3 touchdowns in his hip pocket.
How animated is Brooks?
Now let's see what Champ Bailey can do from his own 2. And Bailey to the 24-yard line. Tony Small and Thad Parker. That's Parker in motion, and they give it to Gary right up the gut. And Alendis Gary to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 5 as the clock runs with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Stinchcomb has been struggling up to this point, but here in the run blocking, he's able to negate Kearney, keep him out of the play. Pretty good gain on the part of Georgia. 5-yard gain. Still, I guess that's just a personal thing with me, Charlie. I figure that when you get a turnover like that, get a big play, you want to follow it up.
2nd down and 5. Carter, pump fake, throws over the middle, and he completes it to the tight end, Larry Brown at the 30-yard line. That's a first down, a pickup of 15 on the play.
Jim Donnan talked about the fact that this young man has a chance on Sundays because not only at 6'5", 260 pounds is he a great target, he's a very good athlete, having played 2 years on the Georgia basketball team.
Averaging almost 14 yards per catch. And now with less than 2 minutes to go in the half from the shotgun. Near side sideline, Tony Small got it close to the first down, a yard shy of the 21.
You and I have had this discussion before, and I still don't know what the answer is. And that is that somebody can be absolutely atrocious for 28 minutes of the first half and then suddenly look like he's Johnny Unitas. That's a great throw right there. Carter puts it right on the money. Small able to do the tip-tap to stay inbound, or get out of bounds, rather, for the nice game.
And that is Champ Bailey flanked to the near side at the bottom of your screen. There he is. Second and a long one. And that is Brown in motion now, the tight end on the right side. Coming back. There he goes. Carter's got the first down at the 16-yard line. It looked like they wanted to get Bailey involved in the play.
Yeah, they wanted, what they had was the flanker screen. He cut back to the inside, but they had him in double coverage. And so Carter, showing the resourcefulness that he has, just tucks the ball under and realizes he only has 1 yard to go. Take a look at Bailey. Here's the screen, but look, Virginia isn't fooled. They run right to him. So Carter's got to either get rid of it or run the ball, and that's what he does. He runs the ball for the first down.
Here's Carter, near side. Ball, he's got it at about the 12-yard line, a pickup of 5. Minute and 20, and the clock is running.
But he wasn't able to get out of bounds, and so Carter sprints over to the official and calls timeout, which will leave them with 1 remaining. Now, I want your theory on this. I'm really curious why for 28 minutes you can be as poor as Carter has been, and now in this drive, suddenly he's accurate. He's putting the ball right on the money.
Confidence is so fleeting, and especially for a young kid like Quincy Carter, a freshman at the age of 17. Carter has completed his last 5 in a row after missing his previous 5. Well, when you guys were in your old 2-minute drills, you just knew it was going to happen, didn't you?
We believe that, sure.
And so this is...
But theory and practice are 2 different things.
And especially when you're talking about a 21-year-old freshman.
Yep.
Well, he's in the zone now, looking for the end zone. Touchdown! Tony Small!
Now that's 6 straight for Carter, and he's got it working. And you can see he's trying to get his confidence back. Boy, he throws a laser. The coverage isn't awful, but he's able to get the ball over the top of the linebacker. Small able to make the catch. Sweet couldn't do anything about it.
And now the extra point try for Hap Hines. 30 out of 31. Make it 31 out of 32. And the Bulldogs and their fans have something to write home about and cheer about.
And Carter was able to catch him in a blitz. Or rather, he was able to catch them in some zone coverage. And Carter's able to deliver the ball right on the money. How big is this, Charlie, to get back at 21-7? And as you pointed out, a gun for an arm, 6'3", 220-pounder, being moved to right field to take advantage of that cannon. And he's certainly excited about the fact that we are coming back.
What a huge drive it was for Georgia to get back in the game. But Virginia has to be sitting pretty at the half, leading 21-7. Now we go halfway across the country to Tempe, Arizona. And Chris Fowler. Chris? Half Virginia over Georgia, and we wish you a happy new year. Charlie Steiner and Todd Christensen here at the Georgia Dome. This is the season for giving, but it was giving away in the first half. It really turned the table.
Far too much largesse for Virginia, and Georgia has to be concerned about the fact that Quincy Carter did what he did early on in the first half. He ended on a good note, but early on, just way too many picks. Here you're going to get a chance to see courtesy of Patrick Kearney right in the back of Carter. He throws the ball into the waiting arms of Wally Rayner, who takes it down to the 5-yard line to set up 1 touchdown. Then Adrian Burnham makes an outstanding play coming back for the ball to get the pick long distance. And here, unfortunately, for a slip, nonetheless, Tim Spruill able to get the interception, set up the Cavaliers for yet another score. The reason why they're up at half, Charlie, 21-7.
Quincy Carter, a slow start but a fast finish to the first half. But Virginia will get the ball to begin the second half of play. Statistically speaking, in the first half,
one of the things, certainly the big statistic is right here. It's the turnovers and the points. You know, the total yardage is where it is, and the average field position certainly has benefited Virginia, but those 3 interceptions certainly costly.
Responsible for Virginia's 21 points, and yes, Virginia, they will be receiving here in the second half. Ahmad Hawkins decides to put a lead in the turf. It'll be 1st and 10 for Virginia at their own 20-yard line as we begin play in the second half. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Charlie, I visited with both coaches at halftime. A worried Jim Donnan said our protection was bad. He said Kearney just beat us to death. He says tight end. We're going to have to bring a tight end over to the weak side to give him help. Stinchcomb's getting beat there some. He says we're going to throw short stuff underneath. We're going to spread out and run some option. George Wells said we can't play much better. He said I didn't do anything to Aaron Brooks but just sit him out of series because I wanted to see Ellis get a series. He deserved it.
How about that? Well, Georgia couldn't have asked for more to start the second half. Got the crowd into it, and Virginia on its heels after just the first play. And down he goes at the 2-yard line. Aaron Brooks tripped and fell and probably got his foot tangled with his center, St. Clair.
I was going to say that Georgia probably all they wanted would have been a 3 and out, but instead the pulling guard, in this case Lamont Kane,
70, yeah.
collides with him. And then, of course, in that case, it's George Seals.
Back up center.
He steps on his ankle and causes him to come down. And not only are they going to get 3 and out, they're going to be in tremendous field position unless the Cavaliers come up with a huge play here on 3rd.
3rd down and 29. The loudest the crowd has been all night. Here's Brooks throwing sideline. Overthrowing Wilkins. 4th down.
You pointed out he couldn't have asked for better. Brooks with a little bit of happy feet. He goes to the play action fake. Now as he rolls to his left, needs to get his feet planted. He didn't quite do that, and the result is he overthrew Wilkins by a mile. Bailey gives him a shot, but evidently not too late as he shakes his head, says, nope, it's okay.
Meanwhile, Champ Bailey stands at his own 45-yard line, champing at the bit, with Donnie Scott about as deep as he can be in the end zone. Just does get it away, and it's a beauty, sending Bailey all the way back to his own 45-yard line. Bailey zigging and zagging and down at the 44 of Virginia. A 55-yard punt, a 12-yard return, and now let's see what Quincy Carter can do to start off the second half.
Jim Donnan mentioned the protection, and he wants to go short that Dean was able to point out to us at the end of the first half. One other thing Georgia needs to consider here, it's only 21-7. Kirk Herbstreit pointed out at halftime the lack of a running game for Georgia. If they can reestablish that, that's certainly going to help the play action throws in Carter.
Bad Carter is flanked way out to the top of your screen with Champ Bailey sidelined at the moment, and that is the aforementioned Mr. Parker inside the 30.
Tim Spruill, the corner, for some reason is a little bit on his heels. He's about 10 yards off, and the short throw catches him by surprise. To the right of your scene, you can see Spruill. Look how far off he is. The catch is made. He's able to shake the tackle and get a first down, and Georgia momentum, wearing red and black.
Parker is a homie. He is from Atlanta, 5'9", 155 pounds. And Tim Spruill returned a interception earlier. And now Champ Bailey is on the field. And there's Champ looking to turn it. He's got some room and he steps out of bounds.
A couple of those blocks down there were awfully close. You have to give Virginia credit. They stayed in their lanes where they had to be. Tried to get Bailey on the reverse. Here he comes. Now watch to the top of your screen, right in the middle, some of the blocks. That one's fine right here. That one's clean right here at the end. There's the push in the back. But nonetheless, Bailey able to get out of bounds, salvage something.
Again, I'm reminded what Jim Donnan told us yesterday. We don't have Bailey on the field merely as a decoy. He is there for a reason, and invariably he is involved in the play. Not this time, because the handoff is to Olandis Gary, and he gave maybe 2 or 3 on the play. Wally Rayner made the tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 3 yards to go.
Wally Rayner, as you pointed out, Charlie, had really stepped up with the absence of Anthony Poindexter. Since the time he had gotten hurt, he's been averaging about 15 tackles per game. That was a clinic right there as to how to do it. Butt down, shoulders up, facing the number. Number 44 may not be as fast as his predecessors, i.e. Chris Slade and Ferrier and some of the others, but he can play the game.
Anthony Poindexter, who missed the final 4 games of the season as he had his knee badly torn up, major reconstruction. 3rd down, a long 3. Carter from the shotgun. Carter's going to run it. Carter's going to get himself a 1st down to the 15-yard line. A pickup of 7.
One of the things that they wanted to do to establish, needless to say, was the option with Carter. And certainly when you have somebody 6'3", 220 with his speed and elusiveness, this is a great opportunity. It's like having another running back. Tucks the ball under, lowers his shoulder. 1st down, Bulldogs.
Now keep in mind, in the final game of the regular season, Virginia was down 29-7 at Virginia Tech. Came from behind to win it. 36-32. They led by 14 here at the half. And Carter gains just a couple. Wally Rayner brings it down.
Wally Rayner is really showing a lot with the interceptions, tackles downfield, pursuing a speed runner like Carter. Number 44 is a good football player. Have a legacy of great linebackers with the Cavaliers. Skates to the outside. Looks like he overruns Carter just a little bit, but comes back and gets him with one of those strong left arms. And as you pointed out, I had to laugh. 6'2", 235, not necessarily big.
Not anymore. Isn't that something? On 2nd and 9. Here's Carter again from the shotgun with a lot of time. Deep in the end zone. Bailey's got it! Georgia's right back in it.
Well, the pass protection had been an issue for Georgia, as Jim Donner pointed out and Dean Blevins told us at halftime. This time, Quincy Carter has plenty of time to throw. They do a great job keeping Patrick Kearney out, and there's Champ Bailey on the corner route, delivering as big-time players are supposed to be. Only down 7 now, back in it.
An injury, a key injury to Patrick Kearney, who has been the defensive stalwart tonight for Virginia.
Olandis Gary comes out of nowhere. Kearney doesn't expect him, and watch the right shoulder come underneath. It shakes him up a little bit, and he's down, and that's what enabled Carter to deliver the ball on the money to Bailey. They got to have Kearney. He is their pass rusher supreme.
Antoine Womack. And all the momentum is in Georgia's corner. Robert Arnott, backup running back with the tackle. He has played everywhere for Georgia this season. Linebacker, DB, running back, special teams. Virginia led at one point 21-0. It is now 21-14, and offensively they're moving back. And the pass is complete this time to Ahmad Hawkins. Hawkins across the 40 to the 45-yard line.
He fumbled.
A fumble. And Georgia has the football.
I think it's Hollingshead that has the ball. The middle linebacker was able to come over. So many times a young receiver gets his opportunity. Finally gets the ball in the open field, and he has no idea who's coming behind him. He breaks the tackle and then gets whacked from the backside. Take a look. Great effort. There's the throw. The catch is made. Now watch him break the tackle. He's not sure of anybody behind him, and here comes the hit from the backside. And the backside who strips him is Glenn Ford.
Well, my friend Herschel just walked up here in the booth. Good to see you, man. Look good. And so it is 1st and 10 for the Georgia Bulldogs. In the first half, Georgia couldn't get out of its own way. In the second half, It's happening to Virginia. And now here's Georgia. Let's see what they can do with it. Here's Gary looking to turn the corner. He does! First down, then some. Knocked out of bounds inside the 30.
Good blocking downfield by the wide receivers, Charlie. Georgia does not have big wide receivers, but in that case, they were able to lead and give the runner an opportunity to break out. Parker, in particular, is able to get a block and enable Gary to get to the outside. Watch to the top of your screen. Here's Carter coming upfield, pitches it quickly. Now watch the blocks that come. There's the one right there. And now watch downfield. Watch downfield before he's touched again. Great job by Small on Adrian Burnham, enabling Gary to get the extra yardage.
18 yards, his longest run from scrimmage by far. This time passing to Small. Stays on his feet, down inside the 25. He picks up about 6 on the play.
That's got to be frustrating for Dwayne Stooks, the corner for Virginia, because he read it. He was in the backfield. He had a chance to make a tackle for a loss. Watch number 5 to the left of your screen. He's got him. But Small makes a little bit of a move, shows great balance, and gets downfield.
And so the Bulldogs showing tenacity and moving in on Cavalier territory, and that's how far they have to go to the end zone. They're 25 yards away. Quick toss, sideline. It's complete to Stan Parker. Parker finally wrestled down at about the 15-yard line, but that's a first down.
Charlie, it may not be 15 straight, but Carter certainly
10 of his last 11.
Boy, he has been hot since the last drive of the first half and here in the second half. 10 of the last 11. Boy.
Remember, he had 3 interceptions in the first half that all eventually resulted in Virginia touchdown. But he maintained his composure. Again, we talked about the fact that he's not any ordinary freshman. He's 21 years old, plays 3 years of minor league baseball. He's a natural-born leader, soft-spoken as he is, showing great athleticism and composure. And now from the 15, Gary, right up the gut. Gary will score! Gary, his 11th touchdown of the season, and Georgia is now just a point away from coming back from a 21-point deficit. Halftime. We are tied. Down 21-0 in the second quarter. Georgia has pulled all even.
Take a look at Jonas Jennings right here. This is just a great job of blocking off, getting 2 people here. He does a great job of coming off. Now he comes off, gets a piece of Rayner, and he can't make the play on Gary, who in the secondary does a nice 360, gets into the end zone for the tying touchdown.
Well, we got ourselves a ball game, don't we? Virginia has done nothing right here in the second half. Antoine Womack lets it go into and out of the end zone. Again from the eye. And here's Jones. And this time he gets nothing. Going off left guard behind Evan Rootson. And Marcus Stroud is there to make the tackle.
But you got to do it, Charlie. You got to do it. You got to run the ball, or else what's going to happen is they're going to pin their ears back and they're going to come with their blitzes and get in Brooks' face.
And so it is 3rd down and 10 at the 33-yard line. And this time Brooks is from the shotgun. 3rd down and 10. Here's Brooks with a lot of time, firing over the middle, and it's caught by Terrence Wilkins. Wilkins still on his feet, and breaks another tackle. Oh my God! Terrence Wilkins will score! Wow! What a play!
needs to make the tackle. Instead, what happens is that they try and strip the ball. He beats Champ Bailey on the deep in route. Here's the isolation. Wilkins having a great game. Gets over the top. Bailey stumbles with a great throw, makes the catch. Now, right here, take a look. Smart tries to strip the ball, but he doesn't make the tackle. And he doesn't make the tackle again. He does a 720. That's 2 360s, by the way. And he's in for the touchdown. What a run by Wilkins.
How huge is that for Virginia? Wilkins, 4 catches, 143 yards, and no good.
Wow. And you just saw the coach spike his hat because he knows how costly that is.
Todd Braverman, who missed 1 extra point all year until now.
Just when we were talking, you saw George Welch not very happy with his kicker, really chewing him out and say, what's the problem? But Wilkins is the man. Great individual effort. Brooks delivers this, leaps, catches a little behind his face. Bailey can't make the play. And here, this is all Wilkins. Again, for you young people out there, that's great when you can strip the ball and it looks really good. But if you miss, as Smart did twice, this is what happens. A great individual effort by Wilkins, in for the touchdown, and a Cavalier lead, and a very sudden change of momentum.
67 yards. And for Wilkins, 4 catches, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. And Virginia, at least for the moment, has regained a bit of confidence. But that missed extra point could well loom large. Here is Champ Bailey. Bailey, who was burned on the touchdown pass, returns it to the 25-yard line. That's the main Wiggins, 89 in motion, and that's Gary right up the gut. Gary's got himself a first down. Olandis Gary, he got off to a slow start, as did all of the Georgia offense in the first half, but in the second half, it is Gary who's turned it up a notch.
Done a good job from the tailback position, and of course, at this point, if you're Virginia, you want to attack Carter. That's the guy you want to go after. But you can see right there by the numbers, I mean, 6.2 per carry. Georgia might want to think about giving this young man the ball, getting up to about 25 carries by the time the game's over.
Gary picked up 11 on that play and a first down at the 44. Here's Gary again. This time, nothing doing. Donnie Green, outside linebacker, 33, makes the tackle. So third down, 14 yards to go at the 40-yard line. Georgia at its own 40. Here's Carter. A lot of time, but not anymore. Throwing across his body. There's Champ Bailey to the 18-yard line. That's why the Bailey is a champ.
Well, Quincy Carter is able to buy time and buy time and buy time. The coverage by Virginia wasn't poor. It's just that if you're going to give a great quarterback like Carter 5-6 seconds to throw, he's going to find somebody.
And he finds the extraordinary Champ Bailey.
You take a look right here. They have the double team on Kearney to keep him out. And look at the time that Carter gets. Pumps once, pumps twice, pumps 3 times, rolls right, rolls left. There's the throw. He's able to get Bailey the ball in stride.
And what a way to put an end to the third quarter. It's only going to get better. 27-21, Virginia. Through 3 quarters of play, Todd.
The statistics, Eric, again, the turnovers and points off of turnovers, but give Georgia credit. They came out like a house of fire here in the third period. Tied it up, and then the absolutely huge throw by Brooks. Charlie, I was thinking that one of the things here, at the risk of insulting the mathematic sensibilities of our audience, one of the big things about missing that extra point is that Georgia can kick 2 field goals, retire. Well, there's no compelling need for them to have to get in the end zone here early in the fourth quarter.
First and 15 at the 23. Carter looking underneath, and he completes it to the tight end, Larry Brown, at the 20-yard line. But he only picks up 3 yards on the play. Brian Sweet, the linebacker, and Wayne Stoops, the cornerback, team up on the tackle.
Sweet makes an excellent open field tackle against a guy 6'5", 260 pounds. Stoops was there also. Take a look right there. There's Stoops and Sweet dropping Brown at the 21. That's a big body, too.
Byron Sweet T-H-W-E-A-T-T.
In case you're wondering if you were
Had a speech impediment
trying
or
to be
not.
Tweety Bird or something.
Well, I guess when you're 6'2" and 230, you can be called Tweet. Nobody's going to look at you funny. Over the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Larry Brown. Brown is finally wrestled down, and they'll mark it at about the 13-yard line.
Tight end is the man you want to go to in the zone because he's the one that can find the dead spots. Take a look here at Kearney. One man or two. Stinchcomb comes out, but here all the way from the middle is the center Lucky to come and help and drop Kearney right at the feet of Carter, who drills the ball right in the middle to number 87, setting up a very makeable third and about 3.5.
Carter, who struggled so mightily in the first half, has completed 14 of his last 16 passes. It is 3rd down and 4 at the 12. And from the shotgun, Gary is in the backfield. And rolling in front of Gary, there goes Carter inside the 5 and down at the 3.
Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, was afraid of this. When they empty the backfield and they put the wideouts, Carter is like an extra running back. He takes the snap and he has no intention other than running the ball. Gary is able to create a lead block for him, but again, what an advantage to be 6'3", 220, and to run like that from the quarterback position.
That's Rick Lance, the Virginia defensive coordinator in his 8th year at Charlottesville. 1st and goal, inside the 3. Now everybody's bunched up tight. Out of the eye. Gary. Did he make it? Goes to, yes, touchdown. It took forever for the officials to raise their arms, and now we are tied at 27. And the extra point from Hap Hines is coming up. Hines has missed one all year. Todd Braverman, the place kicker for Virginia, missed one tonight. And that may spell the difference in the outcome of this game. For the first time tonight, Georgia has the lead. 8 plays, 67 yards. And it's 28-27, Georgia.
Landis Gary is able to finish off this drive with a little vertical leap a la Bam Cunningham. 28-27, Georgia's first lead.
What a ball game we've got going here. Now remember, the outcome of this very game between these two teams 3 years ago was determined in the final minute of play. So we've been down this road before. Antoine Womack drops the ball, picks it up, still on his feet, and gets out to about the 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, just inside their own 25. Brooks throwing, and he completes it to Wilkins, and Wilkins across the 25 and down at about the 28 or 29-yard line. A pickup of 3 or 4 on the play.
Good recognition by the Georgia defense. There they went with the flanker screen, but they were not fooled. An awful lot of white shirts on Wilkins, and Wilkins, of course, having a great day. Take a look, here it is. Steps forward, comes back, is trying to pick up a block from Coffey, but Coffey cannot knock down the defender, and as a result, the tackle is made by Jeff Harris, the corner.
And so 3rd down and 6 at the 29-yard line. Tonight's crowd, 72,876. Largest Peach Bowl crowd ever. Largest crowd at the Georgia Dome ever. How about that? 3rd and 6. Screen pass. Finally, Southern goes down.
And Champ Bailey may not be known for being a hitter, but this is a great open field tackle by him. Georgia comes with the blitz, and it's man for man. The man that is covering the back is already in the backfield. Here's the catch, turning upfield. Bailey able to get at the feet of Southern and drop him right in his tracks. In fact, he actually is still on his feet technically, but his butt hits the ground. 4th down for Virginia.
And so Donnie Scott to punt it away. And Michael Greer is standing at his Oh, that's a beautiful punt. Sending Greer all the way back to the 15-yard line. And Greer is going to run it out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A 56-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Virginia trailing by a point. And when you consider Virginia at one point led in this game 21-0. What a comeback it has been for the Bulldogs.
But don't think that that young man isn't just aching for an opportunity to kick the winning field goal.
Oh, he needs to. Throwing on the run. Carter, look at that throw. Down the sideline. Caught! Michael Greer with a diving catch.
You talked about Quincy Carter having a gun, Charlie. He threw this ball off his right foot on the run. What a great athletic play. They move the pocket to the right to avoid Kearney, and Carter has all kinds of... Look at this. He pump fakes. Now look, off the right foot. He delivers this ball on the money. Take a look at the catch he lays out. Well, that's a great catch by Greer.
52 yards.
Tim Spruill seemed to slow down a little bit and thought the play was dead. Need to stay with it.
1st and 10 for Georgia. Look at Greer tonight. Gary, the single setback. Gary's got some room and inside the 30 and down at the 28.
This is why they play 60 minutes. If somebody who tuned into this game, tried in the middle of the second quarter and seen Quincy Carter's stats, they would have said, get this guy out. He's awful. What a difference a half makes.
For those of you who are getting ready for your New Year's party, you may be a little late. We got ourselves a dandy here. Honey, I think we're going to be a little late for dinner tonight. I got to work on my bow tie a little tight. On 2nd and 5. Gary squirts his way to the 25-yard line, about a yard and a half shy of the first down. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dino?
Guys, it's a different half for Quincy Carter. Yesterday I visited with Todd Donnan, the son of Jim Donnan, the coach. I said, how good is this guy? He said, he simply has the best to be, he has a chance to be the best in the history of college football. I said, you're crazy. So he's got all the throws, the mobility, he can improvise, he's smart. First half looked bad for him, but the second half he looks like he has a chance to be a special player.
Well, that 52-yard completion to Greer, throwing off his back foot on the run, was some amazing athleticism. And remember, he's also a minor league baseball player. Little toss. Here's Gary. Inside the 20 and down at the 13-yard line. Another first down for Georgia.
While we're talking about Quincy Carter, let's not forget that Gary has really been the man, Charlie. 19 carries for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sometimes he gets lost in the glow of Quincy Carter. Does a great job making people commit, but look at Gary make people miss. Breaks tackles, gets upfield. You know, with the ball in the left arm, wearing number 22, he reminds me a little bit of Emmitt Smith.
That's 22, huh?
Well, that number 22 in the left arm, yeah, a little bit.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Gary, the single back, 4 wide. Here's Gary again, and Gary to the 10-yard line. Correction, that was Ronnie Bradley. Bradley, 25.
Oh, they need to give Gary a rest.
Yeah.
Once he went over the century mark, he said, I'm taking a break.
Bradley, a senior. That was his 46th carry of the season, his first tonight.
Now, if Carter is smart here as he takes a look to the sideline, notice that he's taking his time. And I think that's one of the things that Jim Donnan is making him do. Is that now with the clock at 8:15 and running, even if they get a field goal here, Charlie, that's going to force Virginia to score a touchdown. And he does want to take some time off the clock before they can get their score.
Quincy Carter's biggest fan in attendance tonight. There's nowhere on earth he'd rather be. On 2nd down, Carter cuts it in. Carter inside the 5 and close to a first down.
And the look on her face was priceless. When he went down like that, he could see she had that, oh, my baby look.
On the quarterback sneak, that should probably be enough for the first down as they needed for just a couple of inches.
Don't forget, Jim Donnan was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma when they won the national title back in 1985 after Troy Aikman broke his leg and a young freshman quarterback by the name of Jamel Holloway stepped in. And that man coordinated the offense to his skills, and the result, as I say, was a national title.
1st and goal. just outside the 1-yard line. That 52-yard pass from Carter to Greer. Just magnificent athleticism, not only by the quarterback, but the diving wide receiver. It is Greer who flanked to the top of the screen, but it is Carter who dived it home.
Charlie, that was very clever. Georgia got up to the line of scrimmage, and Carter looked like he was surveying things, and he quickly got his hands under center before the Virginia people could get ready. Had them on their heels, and he was able to lump over for the touchdown.
The lead is 7 now, and they're going for 1 to make it 8. Hines' kick is perfect. 35-27, and Mrs. Carter's young son, Quincy, has led an extraordinary comeback by the Bulldogs. 35-27. Quincy Carter, who had a nightmare first half, has led this extraordinary comeback.
Well, whatever it is he's trying to say, I can't tell, but we have to give him credit. You know, Charlie, we talked about whether or not he would have the resilience, you know, in a situation where a great team, a number 12 ranked team, goes up 21-0. He did not feel sorry for himself. He came out, did what he had to do. He's really shown a lot of class.
And now let's see what Virginia can do with this kick return. Across the 20 to the 22-yard line, James Johnson, a reserve wide receiver, and Virginia will start 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. 6:53 left in the game. Virginia with all 3 timeouts left. Georgia has 1. And Aaron Brooks, who had the solid first half, has had a nightmarish second half.
Really has 12 for 30 is just not. You know, we talk about the numbers. He does have 222 yards and 3 touchdowns, but his accuracy, and in fairness to him too, Charlie, a couple of drops that were costly in the last 2 drives.
And he's been sacked 4 times tonight. 5 of 15 here in the second half is Brooks. But there's still plenty of time left. Brooks is going to throw. No, he's going to run. Brooks has some room. And he's going to run it out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Well, pick up about 5.
Charlie, I was going to say, that was a big-time stiff arm by a quarterback, and he was able to do it to the middle linebacker, Adrian Hollingshead. He has to step up because of the pressure. Now he decides to run. Hollingshead has him, but he stiff arms with the right hand, really drops him. He goes out of bounds, picks up about 6, as you pointed out.
Well, when all is said and done, it was about a 6-yard gain. 2nd down and 4. The line of scrimmage to 29. They have to get to between the 33 and 34. That's coffee in motion to the top of your screen. And here's Thomas Jones. He hasn't called his name much in the second half. And Jones gains maybe a yard on the play. Hollingshead and Robich combined to make the tackle.
Flag down, Charlie.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
How costly is that?
You know, you have Virginia playing on their heels, and then you just give them 15 yards and a first down.
That expression by Jim Donnan says it all. Everything seemed to be going our way, and then something costly like that. And, of course, pulling the face mask 15 instead of 5.
There's nothing incidental about that.
No.
2 minutes, 59 seconds left in the game. The Cavaliers trail by 8. They have all 3 timeouts left. This is likely their last chance saloon. And Thomas Jones is across the 45 and down at the 46-yard line.
Not a bad call, Charlie, with 2:48 in the clock running. They've got all of their timeouts. If Georgia's in a pass rush mode, maybe Jones can sneak through for a big one.
Remember, it was Virginia who won this game 3 years ago in the final minute, 34-27. It beat Georgia. 2nd and 5. Jones again. Jones busts it. Jones to the 40. Jones to the 30 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well, Charlie, that's what we were talking about. Georgia knows, or so they think, that Brooks has to fade back and throw. With 2.5 minutes left in the half, they have plenty of time with all their timeouts to just run the ball. And sure enough, Jones finds the crease and cuts to the outside and gets some big yardage before he is shoved out of bounds by man at the 25-yard line. Now, Virginia very much in business, and Charlie, here in particular, now time is just not a factor.
A pickup of 29 on the play. Thomas Jones, 20 carries, 105 yards tonight. Jones, not this time. Marcus Stroud stands him up and knocks him down.
He certainly did. Southern, the fullback, was actually shoved into the backfield. That was a big loss. Take a look at the point of attack. Watch the white shirts. The fullback is usually your lead man, and look, he's going to get shoved into the backfield, not only by Stroud, but by Boss Bailey, who's in on the play again.
A loss of 5, second down, 15. Clock is running, as you see. The line of scrimmage is the 30. A field goal doesn't no good. Virginia needs the touchdown and then the deuce. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Thomas Jones at the 15-yard line. And look at Aaron Brooks.
Interesting there, too. Thomas Jones in coverage was Champ Bailey. And Aaron Brooks on the ground. He's hurting.
Aaron Brooks, I think he may be cramping up.
But whatever it is, Charlie, they've got to take him off now. And on this crucial third down play, they're going to have to go to their inexperienced sophomore quarterback, Dan Ellen. Terrible time for Brooks to get hurt.
So here's the situation. It is third down, 15 yards to go for Virginia. The line of scrimmage is the Georgia 30-yard line. Georgia leads it 35-27. Virginia at one point had a 21-0 lead. Georgia with the 8-point lead. Virginia with 2 very valuable timeouts left. But now they've got 2 downs to get 15 yards.
Interesting, though, Charlie, they were heads up enough to burn a timeout here, even though the clock was stopped, as opposed to using the official timeout. And as a result of using their own timeout, Aaron Brooks does not have to sit out a play. He can come back in. Now, I think one of the things that they're doing on the sidelines with Virginia in particular is 3rd and 15. It's 4-down territory regardless. Right. There's a minute 43 left. So they can afford the luxury of an intermediate throw here, a 7-8 yard kind of thing. Come back to the huddle and go again. They don't have to get it all in one fell swoop.
As you look at the defensive player of the year in college football, Champ Bailey. He is man for man with Kevin Coffey, the big play wide receiver for Virginia. Down at the bottom of your screen. On third down, 15 yards to go.
Without him spread out, he's got room to run.
He's got plenty to run. Brooks will score! Wow!
That was a good call by you. They spread him out with the 4 wide receivers. First time in the game, Charlie, they went with 4 wideouts. And the result is all the people in coverage have their back turned. And now the biggest play of the game with a minute 34 remaining, they're going to have to go for 2.
For 2 points and a tie. And possibly overtime. 3 years ago, this game was decided in the final 1 minute and 9 seconds. And you take a look at Todd Braverman. It was his missed extra point that has forced Virginia to go for 2 to come back and tie this thing.
Now this is interesting, Charlie. Georgia burns this last time out. This could be costly because if for whatever reason Virginia ties it up, then, you know, then they're going to be left without a timeout and a minute and a half left with Quincy Carter. You want to have that extra timeout.
In front of the largest crowd in the history of the Georgia Dome and the Peach Bowl, 72,876. Nobody's left. Nobody's sitting. So here it is. More than likely, the outcome of the game will be determined on this 2-point conversion.
much about Champ Bailey, but maybe the biggest play of the game was made by his younger brother, Boss. He's the one that gets in the face of Aaron Brooks and causes him to rotate and go to the other side of the field. Hollingshead, the middle linebacker, pursues him. Take a look at the top of your screen. Here comes Boss Bailey. He can't sack him, but he forces him farther back, and here comes Hollingshead. Brooks just has to throw one and hope for the best. It's a little bit short. Great penetration on the part of the Georgia defense. And even if Wilkins is able to make the catch there, Charlie, he's not in the end zone. And so now the scenario is quite obvious. The onside kick, and if for whatever reason Virginia can get the ball, they have 2 timeouts left. Now, Charlie, he's more than likely, he's got an opportunity here, Braverman, to have the best kick of his life. I know that he's feeling badly about the missed extra point, but he can
not go more than 10 yards.
He can atone for this with a great kick, and then he could be the hero with the field goal at the end. Right now, he's got to get that ricochet and give his people a chance to make this catch. And, of course, you can see Champ Bailey is out on the field, Larry Brown. The receivers are all there. They've got their hands team.
There is nobody deeper than the 25-yard line. So here we go, the onside kick.
Virginia's got it! They got it!
The biggest kick of his life didn't go but 10 yards.
And this is a great job by Virginia in getting the ball. Terrific job, but a poor job, really, Charlie, by Georgia because nobody's assertive. Here's the kick, and here's the bounce. It comes right back up to him. What a great catch.
The kick was by David Green.
David Green makes the kick, but Braverman is just as happy. And, of course, there's the recovery by number 14, Javon Simmons. Absolutely huge. 2 timeouts remaining. What pressure now on the Georgia defense.
Braverman was on the field as a decoy kicker. When was the last time you saw that? And now Braverman potentially has the chance to be the hero. With 1:33, Brooks fires. Incomplete. Terrence Wilkins, the intended receiver, and it was Champ Bailey who hit him hard.
And on 3 different occasions, that's the play where Wilkins is able to come up with it. Champ Bailey, with over 100 plays on his legs, is still able to go with him step for step and make the collision. Wilkins looks like he might have it, but there's Bailey right in his face to strip him of the ball.
On the 109th play of the game for Champ Bailey. 109 plays.
Once again, Charlie, don't forget they only need to go about 30 yards. They can certainly still run the ball. They can run a draw play to Jones if they like.
2 timeouts left. Georgia has fun. Here's Brooks stepping up. Brooks is going to run. He's got some room down the sideline. And out of bounds inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 27.
At some point, Charlie, Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator for Georgia, needed a spy. Coming into this game, we talked about the fact that Virginia needed a spy for their quarterback, Carter, because he was such a great runner. Brooks has proven to be a fantastic runner today. The 6'4", 205-pounder has just been killing the Bulldogs with his legs.
Brooks' last 2 carries have gone for 30 yards and most recently 26. 1st and 10. 1:21 left. 2 timeouts left for Virginia. Jones gets nothing. Brought down by Adrian Hollingshead.
Now, let's not forget, Charlie, in the case of Braverman, his long of the year is 47 yards. So while Virginia can feel pretty good about the fact that they're down here, they're still hardly in automatic field goal position. They still need to get about 10 yards to guarantee a sure thing.
Let's go downstairs. Dean Blevins quickly.
George Welsh had a chance to talk to Braverman, send him away, and all I know is Braverman nodded. We'll see if he can come through if he has the shot.
Right now, if he were to try a field goal, it would be 47 yards. Make it 48. He loses one. Hollingshead again makes the tackle.
The clock is running now down to 35 seconds, so they've got 2 timeouts. They need to call a timeout here and regroup. This is really a misuse of time, now down to 29 seconds as they finally get the timeout.
So Virginia now has 1 timeout left.
Here's the play, Charlie, and you know that I love this play. Here you are at the 31.5-yard line. You spread everybody out, go with the 4 and 5 wide situation, and you go with the quarterback draw. Let him run because he's been so effective up to this point. Even if he only gains 3 or 4 yards, that would be enough to afford Braverman the yardage that he can do to make the kick.
Let's go back to week 3. Clemson. And Virginia was trailing 18-17 when Todd Braverman nailed this 30-yard field goal and gave Virginia the 20-18 win. Coming from behind at the gun. And now Todd Braverman with a chance perhaps for history to repeat itself. But in this case, we're looking at a 48-yard field goal, which is a yard further than his high for this year.
Just a natural tendency, Charlie, after the run by Brooks to say, hey, you know, we're in field goal position, no problem. Now 2 straight runs have forced them back about 5 yards, and they're not going to get the first down more than likely, but they do need to get a little bit closer.
And they'd like to get perhaps a little closer to the center of the field.
Here's the other thing, too, Charlie. He's a left-footed kicker. He wants it on the right hash.
Okay. Third down. 14. From the 31. Brooks is going to throw. Sideline, he overthrows Terrence Wilkins, and now here comes the field goal try.
Now, for whatever reason, Braverman does not make this kick. Those 2 tackles by the backers of Georgia are going to loom huge.
Adrian Hollingshead, back-to-back tackles for loss. There he is, 44. And Todd Braverman, a 48-yard field goal try. A yard longer than his previous long one of the season. His extra point missed has spelled the difference. And now this field goal try can win it for Virginia. It's on its way. Oh, no good.
About it is that Todd Braverman actually thought it was good. The hold is good. He's got the distance. Take a look at his reaction. He thinks it's good. But right at the last, take a look at the hook. It's going to hook just outside the upright. It was long enough. It just wasn't in there. And Jim Donnan takes a look, and he knows, son of a gun, we're going to win this Peach Bowl.
It will be the 9th win of the season for the Georgia Bulldogs in a thrilling ball game. Georgia trailing 21-0 in the first half. Stormed from behind and beat Virginia 35-33.
What a game. What a great, great game.
For Steve Lemon, Todd Christensen, Charlie Steiner saying goodbye from the Georgia Dome. A nightmare of a night for Todd Braverman.